Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, call Halayim Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatab Yahweh coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. You know, Lord's will is edifying, but basically just going into prophecy. And you know, I got a couple articles lined up, just real quick, reading the headings just to see what's going on and how the Lord is putting the pieces in place for these famines. You know, and you know, we've been set up to be, watchmen, you know, to warn the people. Real quick, in Ezekiel 3 and 17, it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. And that's what, you know, the men of the Lord are set up to do is to warn. And what are we warning? We're warning for the things that are going to come to pass, like famines, Jacob's trouble, Esau coming down with great wrath. You know, the Lord coming so they can be what? They can prepare themselves by way of the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, prepare themselves mentally, you know, their relationship, their faith with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is the only way we're going to get out of this thing, you know? And these things are coming, and you know, it's like the whole world is a bliss, especially, you know, the majority of our people, the 2/3. But, you know, the scriptures say, you know, we are not in darkness, you know? And these are the reasons why, because, we see these things happening, you know, and they're not in the mainstream news. You can't find them in the mainstream news, but we know they're there, and we know it's showing that prophecy is speaking. You know, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. You know, so like I said, I'm just gonna read a couple of these and grab a couple more precepts and end. You know, it shouldn't be that long, Lord's will. But this is the first one from Zero Hedge, and it says, bird flu outbreak above and beyond rate of spread observed in 2015 warns industry expert. I'll just read a little bit of it. It says the bird flu outbreak has only been spreading around the U.S. for 2 months, and this is dated April 17th. It says, and some industry experts are warning the rate of spread could be worse than the devastating 2015 outbreak. On Friday, the USDA announced yet another state where the contagious strain of highly pathogenic avian influenza has been detected. Idaho is the 27th state where the virus has been found since February. You know, and real quick, I just wanted to get these numbers. It says 1.3% of all U.S. chickens has been affected, and 6% of the U.S. turkey flock. In 2015, he said only 0.02% of total chickens were affected at the same time. The number rose to 2.5% of chickens affected at the outbreak's peak, and more than 50 million were culled. And see, this is the point. You know, whether there is a disease or not, more than likely, you know, it's another pandemic. But this is what happens, you know, when this so-called thing spreads, and they say it's in all these different states. Well, what do? They cull the livestock. They cull these chickens. They cull the turkey, meaning they kill. They kill them. They just get rid of them. Whether they have them or not, just to, you know, supposedly stop the spread, they just kill them. You know, so what does this do to the food chain? Well, you know, as we can see, you know, what happens? There's less chickens, there's less turkey, there's less poultry. You know, there's less eggs, and that's a staple in a lot of homes. You know, and this is only 2 months in, and they said this is going to get a lot worse. This is another one. This is, and that was from Zero Hedge. This is from geoforeignbrief.com, and this was dated April 18th, but it says Turkey temporarily suspends food exports. So as you see, and you could read this if you want, and like I said, it's on Foreign Brief. But basically, it goes into how a lot of these countries are, you know, basically stockpiling. Actually, let me just read a little bit of it. It says Turkey exported 3.154 tons of butter in 2021, which rose to 3.874 tons in the first 2 months of 2022. Concerning Ankara about Turkey's ongoing inflation and ability to meet increased food demand in the summer, a time of increased tourism. Turkey's inflation rate, which hit 61% 61% year on year in March, helps inform these export restrictions. It says Erdogan's government seeks to suppress rapidly rising cost of goods by increasing domestic supply stocks, particularly of food items, which are rising in price globally amid the Russian-Ukraine war. And this is another thing, the Russian-Ukraine war. A lot of grain has been uh, stopped. The exporting of grain, because these countries supply over 1/3 of Europe's grain. They call it the bread basket of Europe. And what else comes from there is fertilizers. Fertilizers, sunflower oil. So a lot of these things are getting halted. A lot of these countries are halting their food exports. Why? Because they're stocking up. There's another article from ABC, but it says FBI hackers targeting farmers with ransomware attacks. It says the FBI is warning farmers of potential hackers targeting the AG industry. The agency said cyber criminals might be more likely to go after farmers during the planting and harvesting seasons. 6 grain companies were targeted last fall, and 2 others have already been attacked this year, authorities said. A major disruption of grain production would impact the entire food chain, something criminals take advantage of when trying to export growers. And this is all, this is a facade. We know exactly what's happening. This is coming from the higher ups, the elite, and they're basically, fabricating a famine. But this all goes back to the Heavenly Father, because little do they know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai runs everything. But these elites are trying to do it because they're just putting hell on the people. Pressure from above, pressure from below. And ultimately what they're going to try and establish their new world order. I'm going to get this real quick. This is a list from 2019 all the way to 2021. In the last, just in 2022 alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 in 2022. And we're only 4 months in, January, February, March, April. So you have 16 and fire explosions to all these different food processing plants. Rio Fresh, Taylor Farms, Cargill, Nutrient, Feed Mill, Potato Plant. So what's going on is, and they're not reporting this in the mainstream news, is, or they might just barely touch on it, is all these fires happening to these food processing plants, which also goes into, a lack of bread. And now this is the last one, and then we'll hit some precepts. But it says Rockefeller, and who is that? Who is that? Rockefeller Foundation president starts countdown until all hell breaks loose. It says Rockefeller Foundation president Rajiv Shah told Bloomberg News, and this is dated April 22nd, told Bloomberg Television's David Weston a massive immediate food crisis is on the horizon. And like I said, this is all a fabrication. Because who's in control? Who controls the money? Who controls everything? Those small hatters. It says Shaw provides what could be a timeline for the next global food crisis that could begin in the next 6 months. So they're already telling you it's going to be here, and it goes into the fertilizers, but everything, happening. But we can see, these famines are coming, these famines are coming, and this is why we're set up to warn and let the people know, so they can establish that relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and they can be ready mentally, because what Apostle Ramla was going into it, he was saying the 2 main motivating factors is fear and hunger, so what better way to motivate the people by introducing a famine, which is gonna, increase hunger. And then what? They're gonna try and implement their plan, and the people are just gonna be willing, because who's the only ones that's gonna have the food? Well, there's an article that came out a while back. Bill Gates owns the majority of farmland in America. And another thing that I've been seeing is, the government is paying these farms not to grow, or even in some places in the Midwest, there's been a lot of rain, late snowstorms, winter storms, spring snowstorms that are halting the planting of crops. So all this is in play. A lot of moving parts, a lot of pieces are being put into play, but ultimately what's gonna lead to? All hell breaking loose, And this is all scriptural. If you can receive it, this is prophecy. Habakkuk 2 and 3. Hey, these visions are speaking. It says straight to the point. Mark 13 and 8. And these are signs of the end. For nation shall rise against nation. And what do you see over there? Russia, Ukraine, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's, just one. What you have China, Taiwan, you have all these, Iran, Israel, But all these nations are a lot of these nations are coming against each other. It says, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places. And that's another thing we got to touch on is the earthquakes. There's earthquakes going on all over. It says, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrow. So, these famines and troubles are here. And these are the beginning of sorrows. It's only going to get worse. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 5, it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And this is what's coming to the earth. This the sword, the famine, the death, and destruction. So a lot of judgment is going to be happening. So if you're not right with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and if you're not of the elect, you're not going to be saved from this coming destruction. And we're reading it. These things are being put into place. It's only a matter of time. And like the spokesman for the elite said, 6 months. Who knows? The Lord knows, but at the same time, we know it's coming. I'm going to jump down to verse 19, and it says, I'll start at 18. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And these things are coming. And what did it say? It says you're going to have so-called neighbors going into your house looking for food, spoiling, stealing, destroying the place, because that's how rare, for lack of a better word, food is going to be. That's how scarce it's going to be. People, literally, it's going to get bad out here. All hell breaking loose. It says, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's coming upon the earth. And it's not just America. It's going to be all over. But America is going to get hit the worst. It says, but see, just to balance it out, while these things are happening, while these things are going on, these are sent for judgment upon the ones who wouldn't listen, the 2/3. Because here it is, we're warning the people, but the only ones that are going to take heed are the elect, the 1/3. The 1/3, the elect of the nation of Israel is going to take heed and actually, mentally prepare and work on what's actually going to get them out. And that's what? That's their faith, But it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So, the servants, the ones out here that are contributing to the ministry, that are presenting their lives as a living sacrifice, who are born again, who are departed from this world spiritually, and who are working on their spiritual riches. Those who are actually the ones that are actually going to eat, that are actually not, the Lord is not going to leave them out to be hungry like these people, And the scripture says a famine's hunger is one of the worst ways to go. It says that, it's better to die from the sword than it is to die from hunger, because you just pine away. You're literally, your body just eats yourself. And this is what's going to happen to these 2/3, the ones who are not hearkening unto the word, But what does it say? My servants shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Why? Why are we rejoicing? Because we're reading about it. This is prophecy. This is the beginning of sorrows. But what's going to happen once this is all over? Yahweh Shai is coming back. The kingdom is about to be established. And ultimately, we're going to rejoice. Job 5 and 22, it says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of earth. So the type of spirit that the elect are going to be in, when they see destruction, when they see famine, they're going to be laughing. Why? Because we know these things are coming. This is the warning. We took heed. We're taking heed. Lord's will, we're of that number. But we understand that the Lord said these things were gonna happen, and then when we see it play out, we're Barakatah Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We're gonna be praising the Lord, and we're gonna be laughing because why? Yahweh Shai is that much closer. And then all these people who weren't listening is gonna get what's coming to them. But meanwhile, you might have a bird drop you some food, a hot plate. The Lord might just put the spirit on somebody to, bring you some food. However the case may be, we might just have the spiritual power to have it, just appear before our eyes. However it may be, we're not gonna have to worry because, Lord's will, we're of that number. We're gonna eat. We're taking heed to the best of our abilities. We're repenting, and we believe on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and we understand these things are coming. But we have faith in the hope that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will heighten us, from the things that are coming to pass on earth, But yeah, like I said, Lord's will, quick, straight to the point. Lord's will, this is edifying. Like I said, the pieces are being put into place as we can see these famines, are upon us, and the Lord is working, And this is why, we watch and we don't just watch the mainstream news. We watch, the so-called alternative, media, because this is where it's all coming out. And we can see, like the dude on the Rockefeller, he said, a food crisis is looming and all hell's about to break loose, which, that's what we've been saying through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai from our apostles and elders on down for a while now. And we're that much closer to Yahweh Shai coming back and the kingdom being established. But like I said, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, call Halayim Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect and Abba Baba.